Hello, my name is YLam, and today we're going to go over the course design for our drone race league. So our difficulty challenge is divided into 3 levels. There's actually a 4th level, but we'll discuss that at the end. The 100 level is our beginner series. So all it is a 150 feet by 75 feet rectangle. So if you look over here, this is what it looks like. What we have is 150 feet straight on the top and on the bottom, and then 75 feet on the sides. So optimally, what we would have is our racing tent down here. So this is where all of our FPV operators will be set up. We will have 4 mats out pretty much almost at the middle of the straights, so they can set up their quads or whatever UAV that they're flying out here. And then we will be flying in this direction. So they'll fly around and then come all the way back. So the inside perimeter will be marked off by our flags, which I'll show you at a later date. And during race days, we'll actually have a fence on the outside perimeter. We'll also have a landing area right over here. So on your final lap, you can just slow down, come in, and land over on this side. So going back to our 100 level, I just discussed that it's 150 feet by 75 feet. For each race, we'll have 10 laps, and we'll usually have only 4 UAVs or 4 drones out there at one time. We can go up to a maximum of 6, but we'll discuss that when we actually need to go up to a higher number. So that's the basic 100 level course for beginners, and it's just a very, very easy base course to start with. So going on to the intermediate level, which is the 200 level, the 200 level will have everything the 100 level has. So the 100 level is actually the base for the 200 level. And what we're going to have now is we're going to put challenges on the 150 feet straights. So what challenges are, going back over to the to our race course, is there are things that you're going to have to either fly under or hoops that you're going to have to fly through. So we'll have something like this, and this is the land, and you're going to have to fly through it. So that's what a challenge is. And the challenges are always posted on the inside of the course. So you'll be flying out here. This would be the corner that you have to come through. But when you fly through a challenge, you're going to have to come into the track, fly through it, come back out to make the corner. So on all of our 200 level series, there are never going to be challenges on the 75 foot straight. So it's only going to be on the 150 foot straights. And the challenge points are actually going to be on a per race basis. So on any particular race day, challenges can be worth different points. It just depends on whether or not we want you to actually go after the challenges or if they're optional. So let me give you an example of the numbering system that we use. So for a 100 level, all it is the base rectangle. Once we move over to a 200 level, the other number spots become important. Say we have 201 level course. So you know from the 2 that there's going to be challenges in that course. From the 1 in here, this tells you the difficulty of the challenge. So a 1 would mean that this challenge right here is going to be really large. But if I were to say a 291, the challenge would probably be something like this. So you're going to have to fly through something that's significantly smaller. So the second number on here tells you the difficulty of the challenge. The last number right here, this tells you how many of them are on the track. So if it's denoted by 1, that means there will only be 1 challenge that you're going to have to fly through. If we were to change this over to a 212, that means there'll be 1 challenge, and then there'll be another challenge on the course somewhere else. But you know from the 2 that it's always going to be on a 150 foot straight. It's never going to be on the 75 foot straight. So just knowing the number system will tell you a lot about the course. It won't tell you the exact difficulty because while we can still say 211, which means 200 level course, minimal difficulty, 1 challenge, we can put the challenge over here, which will be really difficult, because when you're flying, you're gonna have to cut this corner really sharply to come in here to finish, to get to the challenge. Or using the same numbering system, we can put the challenge over here, which will be significantly easier, because when you fly over here, you have plenty of time to come in and then move on out. So the numbering system does tell you quite a bit about the course design. It won't tell you everything about the course design though. So moving back over here, we'll go ahead and go to our 300 level. So the 300 level will be everything that the 100 level has. Again, the 100 level is always our base. And then on the 300 level, challenges can be anywhere on the track. And again, the points per challenge will vary between race days. So if you come over here now, let's go ahead and erase all this. If we say 311, you know that this is a 300 level. You know that this is going to be minimum challenge. So whatever you have to fly through will be very large. It will be the largest we can make it. And then the 1 means that there will only be 1 challenge on the course. Since there's only 1, you know that the challenge is actually going to be on the 75-foot straight. Now, if I were to say 3112, there will be at least 1 on the 75-foot straights, but the second one from the 2 can be on the 150-foot or can be on the 75-foot. So not all challenges on the 300 level series will be on the 75-foot straights. It could be on the 150-foot straights as well, but at least 1 of them will be on a 75-foot straight. So we went ahead and talked about course design. Let's go ahead and talk about what's actually laid out on the track. So in order to lay out the inside parameters, these are what we're going to use to tell you which direction you're going. And this is actually to denote the corner. So right here would be the corner that you would have to fly around on this side. So as you can see, this is actually a very big sign, and these arrows should be pretty visible once you get fairly close to them. And they'll be set up on each corner of the track. So you should be able to figure out where you're going on the track easily. Now moving over here, when you start the race, what we're going to lay out at the center of the track on the 150-foot straight are these 4 mats. So there's only 2 of them laid out right now, but each one of these mats is for a quad. So we have a quadcopter right here, and what you have to do is, in order to be within regulation for us, your entire quad has to be inside of the perimeter of this mat. That includes the propellers. You can rotate the propellers any way you want, but as long as we can see the entire quad inside of the mat, you are within rules. So you can't have any part of the quadcopter sticking outside of the mat when it's at rest. And again, we'll have 4 of these, so we'll have a quadcopter on each one. Now you can always, choose the corner that you're about to fly through, or if you want, you can be a little safe. You can set it in the center. It all depends on you. It's up to racer's choice. The only rule that we have is that everything has to be inside of the mat. And over here, the last thing we're going to show are these cones. These cones are actually going to be marking where you should be landing. So after your 10 laps is up, you're going to want to land where these cones are staked out. So they'll be in a nice square, and you just want to land near one of these cones. You don't have to be exactly precise, but these will mark down the landing area of our racetrack. So those are the things that you're going to see out on the racetrack when you're flying. So we're going to discuss the 400 level course, and the reason why we left this for the end is because the 400 level course is actually not a part of our normal rotation. These courses are reserved for special events, kind of like once a year or once a quarter. They're the ones where we're going to be flying through, paths along the tree line and through like caves and stuff or behind trees. So these are special event courses. We do have a place for them, but they're just not a part of our normal racing season. So if you see a 400 level anywhere, you'll know that it's actually a special track day for either like a charitable event or some sort of promotional event.